Hello, Art of Healing podcast listeners. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 2. I have my dear friend and health coach with me, Lisa. We are doing a series of videos and podcasts concerning some important topics that are near and dear to our heart. So, of course, you'll have the podcast to listen to. You also have the videos. You'll want to listen all the way to the end because there are going to be some nice freebies and some nice info. So let me introduce Lisa. Lisa Earhart is a longtime educator. She expanded her passion from teaching children to helping adults become their best selves through their personal growth and development. Lisa received her training to become a health coach from the Institute of Integrated Nutrition. She specializes in helping busy men and women lose unwanted pounds and look and feel their best. She lives in Rhode Island, and she likes to keep active by practicing yoga, riding her bike, skiing, and taking walks. She also loves to enjoy cooking meals with vitamin L for her family. I wonder what vitamin L is. So, Lisa, thank you so much for joining me for this episode. How are you doing?
Good, Charlize. It's so good to be here. Thank you for having me. I love doing these things for you and your audience. This is wonderful.
All right. So, I wanted to discuss mindful and or intuitive eating with Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lisa, my first question for you, please share with the listeners, what is mindful eating?
That is the how to eating instead of the what you are eating. It's taking your time and savoring every bite. It's eating without distractions, meaning we don't have our phones near us. We can put that on silent or put our phones and other technology in another room. You're just focused on your food, what it looks like, what it smells like, savoring every bite, thinking about where it comes from, and what it's doing for you. Thanking it for what it's actually doing for you as a human, what it's doing for your body, and how much you're enjoying it.
Nice. As you're saying that, I think of my, I just recently learned this term, in which because I'm a practicing physician of my sad desk lunch. And I'm thinking, boy, that's just not mindful eating. I'm there from the EMR, putting in orders. So it was like all of a sudden I had just a silent moment of self-pity.
We don't have to be perfect.
I
We
know,
just have
but
to do it most of the
I got
time.
to do better than that. I got to do better. I was like, yeah, that's not what's happening to me every day at lunch. That is not what's happening. So speaking of, how do we know if we're eating mindlessly? What is mindless eating?
That's what we do when we go to the movies, when we were able to go to the movies, or when we experienced it, and you buy this big jumbo bag of popcorn and you're watching the movie and it's really good, so your mind is on the movie, not what you're eating. And then what happens before you know it? That bucket is empty and you have no idea how it got there. You don't know because you're on automatic mode and you're just putting one, especially when they're small pieces. Yeah, and they're salty. Yeah, they're just going in one after the other. And then you look at, down and you're like,
Where'd it
I
go?
just emptied a whole, bowl or a bag of popcorn or ice cream. Like one scoop leads to two scoops, two scoops leads to three scoops. And all of a sudden, yikes. Yeah, I've been there. So yeah, we all have. But that would be, when when you're thinking about something else and you're eating at the same time. So doing two different actions doesn't work with mindful eating. That would be where mindless, meaning eating, comes in.
Interesting. I'm thinking about something a lot of my patients will share with me because, and Lisa and I are working together for many reasons, but one of those is that her knowledge experience as a health coach and what I see with my patients. And there's just a huge gap in what I share and what the patients can do because of the setting. But something that a lot of my patients will share with me is that, especially with the pandemic and the change in their work environment and like the desk that they work at, there is a common thing to have sort of like candy at a desk or candy in
Oh
a
yeah.
work environment, like
Mm-hmm.
that candy you
Mm-hmm.
kind of like go for and
Mm-hmm.
grab, and they'll tell me it's like I had one patient even tell me, like when she's working with the people she supervises, that bowl of candy is kind of a soother, because if the person's upset, she'll offer them the candy, then she eats it, and they're both eating the candy.
It sounds all too common.
Uh-huh.
And it's a friendly gesture and it's a welcoming gesture to have a nice bowl of candy on your desk. It's saying to whoever's, you're welcoming in your office, hey, come on in. It's a friendly setting. Would you like some? And I actually, you walk in, you see, you're like, oh, I'm a kid. Let me go grab something. Just like I used to like to go to the banks with my mother because, yeah, they used to hand out lollipops. And they still do, actually. But I'll go to the bank. Yeah, I want that lollipop.
Mhm.
I'm sure it's a lure. Yeah. What, you know, we've, I'm guilty. I've had, candy in my drawer and I occasionally still do. But I
Mhm.
think what we're talking about too is, we're humans and we have emotions. And when we feel like we're less than or stressed, the first thing we want to do is make ourselves feel better. And the first thing, to make us feel better, using our senses and of course food, or candy or chips in my case, is the first thing you're going for. So when I've worked with clients, it's a process to get out of that habit of grabbing something right away. It's you have to it's not going to happen overnight. But I have a tool for our listeners right now. I use this with clients when they talk to me about this. And Charlize, thank you for your the work you're doing as a medical doctor. I know that your time is constrained. I think that's when the coaches come in, because we don't have that knowledge and can prescribe medicine like you do, but we do have the time to talk to clients, and time just for them to voice what's going on is just so helpful. But a lot of time, it's a lot of times it's a stressor, and it could be a trigger, and it usually is something that happened in their childhood. Um, you're at work and all of a sudden you're told that something's not good enough, and all of a sudden you're thinking about when you were in second grade and you were standing up in front of the class and you were so embarrassed because the teacher or in that situation it just embarrassed you because the presentation was, or whatever you were reading wasn't good enough. So a lot of this is stressors, triggers. So a good way to do that is slow down your thinking, and may have heard it before. It's called the 10-10-10 rule. And this
No,
is how
I
it
have
works.
not. I've not
10,
heard that.
this is a good little tool. I use it myself too. So whatever you're thinking of, whatever's triggering you to open that cabinet, to grab your snacks, or to go into your drawer and to pull out, a little Hershey's Kiss. Instead of, automatically making that stimulus response, stop it and just go, wait a minute. How I'm feeling right now, that comment, is that gonna is that going to affect me in 10 minutes? Whatever was being said, maybe I was insulted, and maybe it's going to stay with me a little longer. 10 minutes, okay, I'll give myself 10 minutes with it. Will it affect me in 10 days? No. I can't remember what I did yesterday. I don't know. That feeling that I was like horrifying in that moment, in 10 days, before that, it is gone. It is not, you're on to something else. You're moving forward. You're, going on with life. And then the last 10, I remember I said it was 3 10s.
Mhm.
Maybe something will affect you because you have to present something in 10 days. I'm not sure, but is that going to affect you in 10 months? Think of how different, if you look year to year where you've been, what you thought was, oh my God, such a big deal. Down the line, it's not such a big deal. You made it through. You are amazing human, and you've got past it. You went past it. So this is a quick little go-to tool for those who want to just grab that snack. And, because it's hard to just have one, right? You want 2 and 3 and 4, is to remember the 10-10-10 rule. Will it affect me in 10 minutes? Will it affect me in that thought affect me in 10 days? And will it affect me in 10 months? And usually the answer to all 3 are no.
No, no, that
No.
is so cool. I have never heard of that. I've never heard the
Mm.
10-10-10 rule. So will this feeling, this thing affect me in 10
Mm-hmm.
minutes, in 10 days, in 10 months?
Mm-hmm.
That's so nifty. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
That is really handy. Thank you for sharing that. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah. It's a great tool to use. I use it in those situations also.
Your health coaching, of course, it focuses on getting folks to feel better, but that 10-10-10 rule, that can help people who are trying to struggle with nicotine addiction, with smoking.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a super powerful, because the triggers with that are so, they're so
Mm-hmm.
severe.
Mm-hmm.
So my next question for you is, how do you advise the listeners to tap into the wisdom of their body in order to eat according to what their body needs, or intuitive eating?
Yeah. This definitely takes practice. It's not going to be a quick tool like the last tool, the tool I gave you, the 10-10-10. This definitely correlates with mindful eating. And it's going to take a little time because you have to slow down and listen to your body. And if you're just going from one activity to another, it's going to make it very, or one, you're eating through meals without, savoring every bite, without going through that mindfulness. It's going to be hard to be in tune with what your body needs. Like they could be, and it could be happen anytime during the day. It doesn't have to be happening during mealtime. You could wake up, you could be low in iron. You could be, if you're a woman menstruating, and then you just feel like you need some, you might feel like you need something green, like some spinach, something dark. Don't deny that. Your body knows how to heal. Your body knows what it needs. So that's different. That's not that's not a craving. A craving comes from
Yeah.
more of an emotion or a habit. Intuitive eating is more your body, listening to your body, telling you, and it's telling you what it needs. Like when you're thirsty, what does that tell you? You need to drink some water. Actually, that it's too late. If you get to the point where you feel thirsty, you've already, I've heard that just, it's not going to be hot, you're going to drink water naturally, but at that point, it's actually, late. Like your body could have, shown other signs of like being tired or whatnot. But our bodies are, they're made, it's a perfect machine, and it really knows what it wants. And just listening to that, just a lot of times, I've been eating less meat lately, so my body's adjusting to my new way of eating, but it's what it's been calling for. It's how I feel lighter. I feel the more yoga I do, heated yoga, the more I do not want to eat meat. So I'm listening to that. I'm listening to those signs, but yet, I needed peanut butter. I knew yesterday that, oh boy, I need some, and I'm like, oh, I had this craving for peanut butter. So I made this delicious peanut butter sandwich, by the way, on cinnamon toast. So good. Very satisfying. But my body needed it. And I was just so satisfied that I didn't go for other snacks. I didn't grab the cookie in the cabinet that I saw. That's what it needed. I needed the protein. I know that nuts provide protein. Peanut butter provides protein. I try to buy, a more nutritious brand. And I was satisfied. I know it's higher in fat, but it's saturated fat, but it's okay. I mean, it's not something I do all the time. I don't eat it every day.
I know I had discovered about myself several years ago. that during many years ago, it was not unusual for drug reps to come to physicians' offices and bring lunches.
Mm.
And for a long time, the lunches were quite a bit carbohydrate heavy, lots of
Mm-hmm.
pastas, lots of just, well, it was a lot of pasta, to be honest. I don't know what the deal was with pasta. It was like a lot of pasta when I look back. And so I
A
would,
lot of people.
I'd eat the lunch and,
Mm-hmm.
I'd eat the pasta. It took me a little bit before I realized, why would I be so done with the world an hour or two after eating that pasta dish at lunch?
Mm-hmm.
And once I started to take notice of it, anytime a drug rep, because I thought it was the drug reps making me tired. But I know, like, about an hour or two later, I'm so tired, I'm so sleeping. I had to still see patients. And after some reading and I'm a physician, we don't get that much training on nutrition, really not at all. I figured out I don't need to eat pasta. I could probably even, I can do a real light lunch and my little noggin stays more awake, so that now I design my lunch to be almost as little carbs. I mean, it may be almost no carbs. Not that I don't want them at some point, but if I plan to stay awake, keep seeing patients, now seeing patients with the N95 on my mask, my brain obviously can't take that insulin surge. I can't take that carb load. If I could maybe go lay down, it'd be different, but I'm still seeing patients. So I had to just
Mm-hmm.
intuit for myself. And now that I'm older, I realize that, with a family history of diabetes, do I want to put my body through that? Maybe that would taste really good. And not that I don't do pasta, but that it just is too much during a
Mm-hmm.
heavy clinic day. That's, as you were saying, I thought, yeah, I did figure out, like, I can't do any carbs at lunch.
I love how you said you noticed, you took note. That's a great way, just sitting back and saying, wait a minute, how did that make me feel?
Mm-hmm.
So that leads
Mm-hmm.
me into like a food diary, basically, too. You can, if you're, looking to see what foods that really give you energy and some foods that don't, you can, and then so you don't forget, you can keep a diary of what you ate for the week, and then, look back and see what you can, eat more of, and what are some items that you might want to weed out. Or like you said, yeah, pasta in the middle of the day, not so good. Maybe pasta on Sunday afternoon when you can just lay back and enjoy it. I love pasta personally.
Of
So
course, yeah.
yeah, like yourself though, as you get older, you just can't eat it like you used to, or
Mm-hmm.
you have to, just be mindful of the amount and the time that you're eating it. So that food diary, but you seem to, even if like you said, Charlize, you're so busy, but even just taking a mental note
Mm-hmm.
of, wait a minute, that's not working.
Say that again about food diary, because when I bring up food diary during a clinic day, the patients roll their eyes, they hold their breath,
Mm,
they become near, they want to faint when I say food diary.
yeah,
So
because it's,
tell me the importance of a food
yeah,
diary. Maybe if
well,
they hear it from someone else.
I know, yeah, because it's work. It's work because to write down, but you can always do it in your phone too. You don't have to
Mhm.
carry this notebook around. You can just quickly, have your voice recorded in your notes in your phone. That would take probably 2 minutes, and then just, write, keep track of what you're eating, and you probably don't have to do it for very long before you discover that, wait a minute, this is working and this is not working. And I think also what we have to realize is our bodies change. What we ate maybe even a year ago reacts differently with us now, and it will might be in 3 years from now something different. So it doesn't, just because it worked before doesn't mean it's going to work now. That's why we always have to be conscientious of what's going on with our bodies.
Nice. Thank you so much. Because I say it, but which is why I'm so happy working together. Because in so for listeners out, because as a physician, I do have to advise people a lot about
Mm,
lifestyle, but it's really have to acknowledge that in a clinical setting where it's rushed, where a lot of information has to be conveyed,
mm,
it just doesn't work. And that's why it's nice to have someone like Lisa to work with that can walk you through with her perspective and experience why doing this work really, really pays off. So, Lisa, can you tell the listeners what your mindfulness eating routine is? What is it that you do?
Okay. Well, it gets easier because I've been doing it for some time and I don't look for perfection. There are some days I'll just say, Lisa, you know, it's just not going to work today. We're just going to, you know, it's just going to be not a good eating day. And I give into it because, you know, you get a flat tire or someone's sick in your family. I mean, we all have days where it's like, oh no, this is just too much. And I'm just going to, whatever I can get in my body right now is going to work. So you know, as long as you're eating 80% of the time, well, that's good. And we have to always pat ourselves. You don't have to be perfect. But to get to your point, what helps me is planning. I'm not a super planner. I'm not writing down every little thing that I'm eating, but I will say, like, when I'm, you know, busy working, I will pre-make like 3 salads. I know that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to have a salad. So I pre-make them. I probably don't put the tomatoes in it because they get a little soggy in the cucumbers, but I'll, you know, clean the lettuce. Come home for the groceries on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, clean the vegetables, and then pre-make the salad. So I know Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's all set. That's fresh and that's what I'm going to have. And Thursday or Friday, I'll either make another salad or maybe there's a leftover that I'll spice up or something on Thursday or Friday. I get a little creative on Fridays too. So that's usually Friday has a mind of its own when you're working anyway. Things, you know, at the end of the week and you're feeling good and yeah. But I know that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, that's the deal. I try to keep, you know, meatless Mondays have been very popular. So I said, oh, how can I create some meatless Monday meals? And then that's pretty consistent. Taco Tuesday, I am still working on that.
And now you're doing all this and you work full time, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not too bad. It's not because it's I sometimes like I batch. I can batch cook. When we get into the warmer months, I'm making a lot of soup all at once, and then I can put some in the freezer that I can pull out and have that for lunch. So batch cooking does help. Tons of recipes out there on Pinterest and whatnot. And then I go for the salads because I love the because you can put anything in a salad. You can
Mm-hmm.
throw, you know, you can throw leftover chicken on a salad. If you don't have that leftover chicken, a hard-boiled egg. I've gotten this time of year, in the summer, you can just throw fruit on it. The dressings I find dressings can be a culprit. So I stick to, and it's inexpensive, goes a long way. Oil and vinegar. Just make sure the oil is a really good. You do have to spend some money on a good extra virgin olive oil, and then just make sure you whisk it. Makes it taste a lot better. So you put the oil in first, the vinegar in first. It's a 3-to-1 ratio, and
And
then
whisk it?
whisk it really good. It tastes so much better.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's
Yeah, and then a little bit. I do a little bit of some pepper, and then a little bit of the sea salt. Not a lot, just a little bit, because it goes a long way in the dressing. If not, sometimes sprinkle on top. But I'm taking it to work, so
nice.
yeah.
Nice. So, listeners, and I think that this is a good episode you could listen to while you're shopping in the grocery store, because I'm hearing a lot of inspiration about how you can get yourself ready Sunday for the whole week. That
Mm-hmm.
is so awesome that you get your produce ready, washing it all and getting it ready. And this
Mm-hmm.
is from someone who's as busy as you
Mm-hmm.
are. This is someone
Yeah.
who's in the grind, just like the rest of us. She's working every day, she's teaching every day.
Mm-hmm.
So she's able to accomplish this. It's nice to hear you describe how to do it. And this sounds really pleasurable. It's not like work. This is so
It
nice to
is.
hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets you ready for your week. You're like, okay, I'm ready. I'm not behind the 8 ball. I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like the way nice and neat in my refrigerator. Sometimes the containers are not so much. They could be, I'm looking for this little salad in this big container, but you know what? That doesn't always work out perfectly. But it's fine. But I think, the main tip here is planning.
So, listeners, of course, Lisa is a published author. However, she is going to be taking clients. She is taking clients. So, do you mind telling the listeners what your programs look like and what you're offering and what you have going on?
Okay, absolutely. Thank you. I work with clients in a 6-month program. And what that program looks like is we meet twice a month, and those are roughly 50 minutes. And we talk about your unique needs, which is wonderful because it's just all about the client, and everyone is different. I can see, 5 different clients and everyone's coming at you at a different angle. There's no one diet, that's going to fit everyone. So it really is about listening to what their needs are and how we can get them from point A to B. And all the, it's your unique goals and it's like a unique blueprint for them. And what it is just gradual changes and that lead up to, these goals. And there's support in between we meet twice a month. But there's support in between. Emails, I'll send out if I see a recipe that's going to work with you, I'll send you out a recipe. Just maybe a little words of encouragement as you go through your day. Things, and if there's ever a question, I'm there for the client to answer the questions to the best of my knowledge and to help support them. And that's basically how it's run. It's a 6-month program. And the reason why it's 6 months is because we got to get through those sticky times of the year called holidays. That's when we see changes in the body, changes in mood, changes in stress. And we have to work our way through those holidays together to make change sustainable. That's the difference between working with a coach and just, following a diet. All well and good, but the diet, leaves you. You follow this, you lose the weight, and then there's no one to talk to, and then all of a sudden, the weight comes back on almost as fast as you lost it. But here, the goal is to it's permanent. Very and good. I've seen the results. Nice. And you know what to do. You don't need someone to, you know how to, it's like I'm becoming unemployed. Like this is what you want for your kids, right? You want to someday, even though, they do need your help, but to become unemployed, you did your job and now it's time to move on. And then meetings beyond that can be, you can naturally have set other goals, personal goals, career goals that we can talk about later too, but mainly keep it, the idea behind it is, keeping this weight off through both food and lifestyle changes.
So once again, thank you so much for joining me, Lisa. I think that there is so much information. You've left the listeners with so much valuable information. So listeners, I would definitely recommend you check the show notes because there's quite a bit going on. And I think Lisa has some offers for those that have listened. She's got some goodies for us.
Yes, you'll be getting a freebie that you can access at the end of this podcast. It will be tips on how to lose these unwanted pounds. So if you, you can access through different ways. Like Shalisha said, the book gives you ideas naturally, working with me one-on-one. But if that's not, something that is doable right now, these tips are great. There are 8 tips in all right now. And you can download it instantly.
Thank you so much, Lisa, and listeners. Thank you so much for joining us for today's topic. As always, check the show notes. You can find more information on Instagram at Charlize at Healing Arts. I will make all of Lisa's information available, including her website, how to sign up for her email list. We will see all of you next week. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.